Alright, what do you guys say we finally continue the campaign here?
Blood and thunder.
You're just in time. I have received a missive.
Strength and honor.
We have received word from Revendreth. It seems that Maldraxi conspirators have been found skulking within their realm. If you want to know more about this, head on over to my playthrough where I play as a demon hunter doing the Venthyr Covenant campaign stuff if you want to know that side of the story. An emissary from Sinfall wishes to discuss the anima reserves that we discovered. Join me. We depart immediately.
Strength come. Let us meet in Revendreth, Mawwalker. We will root out the source of this treachery and end it.
Alright, to the Halls of Atonement. Now, I'm just saying you could, give me a ride there, but whatever, sure, we'll just use the Flightmaster. We'll go meet the Accuser. See how she's doing. I do like that there is this intermingling between the covenants here when it comes to the story and the campaigns.
Celebrate victory.
I wish there was something to have me let Draka know about Thrall. I just want to let her know. And I find myself also wondering, Thrall doesn't know at this point, does he? Now, Thrall sort of had his own, in some ways Thrall doesn't need to meet this Draka because he got to meet the other Draka back in Warlords. Back in Frostfire Ridge and, Warlords of Draenor. However, that was not, that was alternate Draka. That wasn't actually his actual, mom. You see what I mean? Again, it goes back to that weird alternate dimension, thing that just makes everything weird about Warlords. That wasn't the same Draka that, that's not, that gave birth to him. This one is the one that I am working with right now. This is his actual mother. I feel like I want to let her know, by the way, your actual mom, she's with me right now in Maldraxxus. I'm working with her. And I want to let Draka know, by the way, I just saved your son from Torghast from being tortured. If you want to just go over and say hi to him, he's in Oribos. I've seen you go there. You've already been there in the story. I can take you to Oribos if you want, and you can go see your baby now as a full-grown man. Full-grown orc. Like, seriously, why have we not had a moment yet with Thrall and Draka? Pardon all the rendering, by the way. I basically just rebooted my computer and the game to kind of freshen it up because I was having some, some lag or performance issues, and so I just did a full restart. In case there was any, memory issues or leakage issues, who knows? Yeah, it does mean that when you go to certain places, it takes a while for it to actually load in. But once you get underway, it's fine. It just obviously looks a little bad when you see stuff kind of popping in like that. Reminds me of some other games we used to play back in the day where it took a while for certain things to kind of pop in and render in. Some Bethesda games come to mind, right? But hello, Accuser. It's been a while. How have you been?
My message reached you. You must be Draka. I trust we can deal with our shared problem swiftly.
Draka, the Accuser. The Accuser, Draka.
No sacrifice without suffering.
The pleasure is mine. Accuser, I've already met you. I came through here and helped you. I also fought against you, but let's forget about that. Your cooperation is expected, but I await results. Our reconnaissance has revealed a Maldraxi encampment in the Endmire. We speculate that your kind have been siphoning the Master's stockpiles of anima. I have called for a carriage to take us there. Let us make haste.
Serve your purpose. We have uncovered an operation in the Endmire, but have abstained from investigating.
We will eliminate it and find out who is responsible.
You will. I've also brought a soul with me. He will accompany you through this endeavor.
If I must coddle one of your arrogant souls to prove our good faith, so be it.
I know who it is. Again, if you want to see the other side of this story with the Venthyr, head on over to the Venthyr playthrough I'm doing with my Demon Hunter. By the way, this takes place after we've done the raid. I know I haven't shown the raid in its entirety yet, the story and everything, but the game assumes you have already finished the raid at this point. I feel like this was a mistake on the part of Blizzard in terms of releasing when, to do this story, like perhaps having you do a requisite or a requirement of a quest in order to actually have it make more sense within the story, because if you haven't done the raid yet, you're kind of like, what's going on? The game assumes you've already done the raid at this point.
To test my abilities? You could have done so in person, accuser.
You speak so often of your immense power. Now behave, we have visitors.
Hi, Kael'thas. So yes.
I remember you. Don't look so smug. Were it not for these shackles, I would avenge my prior defeat here and now.
Which one? Because I defeated you twice. Once in Tempest Keep, and then once at Magister's Terrace. So which one are you referring to? Yes, I did use this character to kill him both times in both instances, because I was using this character to help farm the 2 mounts he drops. And he took forever to drop both of those mounts. I will never forget farming Ashes of Alar. 247 attempts I had to go to that raid and sit there through him doing his entire RP to try and get that mount to drop. And then almost 100 attempts against him in Magister's Terrace. I was joking with my friends, I think Kael'thas hates me because he refuses to drop the mounts for me. But yes, spoilers. The game right now is assuming that you have already gone through the Castle Nathir raid, because one of the bosses is Sun King's Salvation, which is basically Kael'thas being restrained, and we as a raid have to heal him while also fighting off a bunch of ads, and kind of deal with the anima that has been infused into Kael'thas, basically on behalf of Denathrius, and we, along with Renathal and the Accuser and Draven, get Kael'thas out of there, and basically he stays here, with the Venthyr as they try to deal with him. Because, well, Kael'thas is here in Revendreth for a reason.
Every soul can be redeemed, if it desires.
We have arrived. Let us not dally. The Maldraxi toil away just behind us. I care not if you consider them allies or traitors, so long as you remove them from Revendreth. Destroy their encampment, purge it from our soil, and ensure such an affront never occurs again. The means are not important. All that matters is that these heretics remember the consequences of trifling with true power.
The Maw is closer than you think. Kael'thas will join you. I shall remain a watchful eye.
This menial labor will not improve me as you hope it will, accuser.
By the way, if you didn't catch that, he cast Molten Armor on himself. And yes, that actually is Quentin Flynn, even though it really doesn't sound like the Quentin Flynn that we have heard in the past. I'm guessing either he was directed to do the voice this way, or Quentin Flynn's just getting older and his voice is changing. First, we ruined their operation. Questions can come later. I scouted from the Overlook as we rode in. Necromancers charge crystals full of siphoned anima. 3 dredgers stack them onto carts. Kill those dredgers and everything will grind to a halt.
Only the strong survive.
I love that he's got like a spectral, oh gosh, what are those called? Hold on. Let me look at the mount he dropped for me from Magister's Terrace. Hawkstrider. Yeah, this one right here. This was like 90-something attempts. Ugh. And yes, just to reaffirm. Yes. Almost 250 attempts. That's a farm I will never forget. As much as I want to. It was so painful just sitting there, going through that whole RP every time.
I'm out of range.
But yeah, this is basically the same quest I already did.
Failure!
Okay, timeline-wise, I did the Venthyr one first on my Demon Hunter, and now I'm doing this on my Death Knight, the Maldraxxi one. But yeah, you do similar quests for these on my Venthyr character. It's basically the same quest. Disrupting their forces. The only difference is the taking out the dredgers. Actually, no, I take that back. It's these guys. Yep, it's basically the exact same quest.
Both men is bossy! I try.
You were a ruler on Azeroth? My time was brief. I spent most of my life on Draenor.
My father and I ruled the finest kingdom in all the world. Until it was decimated by Arthas Menethil and the Lich Kel'Thuzad. I sought to restore the glory of my people. In hindsight, the bargains I struck may have been, regrettable.
I mean, you should have learned from Illidan, because he had personal experience in this regard, Kael'thas. Never make deals with Kil'jaeden. Illidan learned this the hard way. He could have told you, yeah, no, that would be a bad idea. Take it from me. But no. Like in the trailer for the Sunwell raid, he basically was like,
Master will not.
but I was fed up with Illidan. I grew impatient. He was short-sighted. No, he wasn't. He was just very patient. And very much a long-term thinker.
You cannot.
But Kael'thas didn't really have that kind of mentality. He couldn't really fathom just sitting around waiting that long. If he had, Illidan would have offered him a way to help deal with the addiction to magic and mana. That's what Illidan was planning on doing, but nope. Once the betrayal from that Kael'thas made by joining Kil'jaeden, that offer went out the window.
We will execute the will of the Archlich. Execute the will of the Archlich. The Archlich will never. The Archlich will never.
Shiny Smash!
Shiny Smash! These guys remind me of,
I'll take Crystal.
I'm waiting for them to talk. Okay, never mind. Anyways. They remind me, I was gonna, you know... I think I've already said that they remind me of the orcs from 40k, but they also remind me of the orcs from, you know, the, Lord of the Rings series. Or rather, the ones I encountered in, Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War, where they're like, "Hey! What are you doing here?" Which they basically talked as if they were orcs from 40k, which was great. For anyone who loves the orcs from 40k, it was just like, oh my gosh, these guys really are orcs. It was hilarious hearing them at times say things like, "Hey, we got a raw proper siege going on here." That's what the the dredgers and such sound like to me. It's pretty funny. Well done.
For Crexus. For Akarek.
Now to finish disrupting their forces, and I think these should be enough.
It's too far away.
I hope this is not a terrible idea, with me being unholy instead of blood. But I think we'll be fine.
You cannot comprehend his power.
Get over here.
Thrumka.
Let this prove our sense of honor. We have halted their efforts, but we still have more to do. Sindane must have sent someone to oversee the encampment. Find and slay whoever is in charge. Only then can we be sure that their work has ended.
Even here, I protect the weak.
So on the Venthyr side, you basically only go through this with Kael'thas. But with here, you get to go through with Kael'thas and Draka. Hold on. Just gonna let that finish before we get our turn. Since there is some important dialogue that happens there, I don't want it to get ruined. Alright, now we just wait for it to respawn. Of course, what's funny is that Kael'thas has a slightly different appearance by this point in the Venthyr campaign, but again, I will let you go check that out on your own. But it is cool seeing basically two different covenants get to see, you know, a different side of the same story. Almost like what it's like going through the story as both Alliance and Horde. Imagine that. Draka's guidance and Kael'thas' conviction. Nice mount, Draka. I want that mount.
So you fools have discovered us at last. Unbind me! What magic is this?
Why are you sending Anima to Mount Jaxus? Who do you serve? Answer me!
You cannot stop my master. He is allied with the Banished One himself.
Who? Who is your master?
I serve the mighty Kel'Thuzad, and he...
Dun dun dun!
I will return.
The defiler of the Sunwell. At last, I will claim justice for Silvermoon!
The Lich was drawing upon a source of great power.
Oh. Hello, Accuser. Pauldrons of the Imperium.
Houses. The pauldrons of the Primus.
Meddlers! You dare strike down my underling?
Hi, Kel'Thuzad.
The House of Rituals serves my will. Should you be so bold, face me there.
I will make Kel'Thuzad pay for what he's done. Baroness Draka, I insist you escort me to Maldraxxus at once.
Do not make demands of me, fallen prince. You must learn more about this threat we face before rushing in foolishly. This lich imperils both our realms. When our forces are prepared to strike, we will send the call for Revendreth to join the fight. Take the armor of the Primus to our sanctum, Morewalker. We will give it the place of honor it deserves.
So, few things I gotta talk about here. First off, nice new model for Kel'Thuzad. You know, obviously it's an upgraded model compared to what he used to have back in Nox Ramus, which is the only time we've ever seen him in World of Warcraft, because I don't count that projection in the Borean Tundra in Northrend. Second of all, kind of no surprise here, Kel'Thuzad has actually ended up joining the Jailer, and is affecting both of these realms. But third of all, I'm pretty sure that's not Michael McConaughey voicing Kel'Thuzad, which is a disappointment. You know who that sounds like? That sounds like the guy who voiced Kel'Thuzad in Hearthstone. You guys remember the Curse of Noxtramus event in Hearthstone, right? That was like one of the very first solo adventure things they did, where as you played through each of the different bosses in that solo adventure story, each time Kel'Thuzad would, you know, provide some commentary, like, well, how did you get access in here? You know, or like, what was her name? The lady who was instructing the cult. Hold on. Fairlina. So, before you fight Fairlina, he's like, Fairlina is teaching others how to worship me. Do not interrupt her. Her job is very important. You know, or like after you beat a Nubricon, he's like, no, I mean, irrelevant. For your victory will mean nothing in the end. He would just have these funny little lines, like, both before and after you fought bosses throughout the event. And when you eventually fought him in the event, he had some really funny stuff as well, depending on what your character was. But yeah, this is what his model looked like back in Nox Ramus. Obviously, it got an upgrade, which is great. Now, I don't think the actor who played him in Hearthstone was bad. It's just obviously not Michael McConaughey. You know, his voice for Kel'Thuzad back from Warcraft 3 was so iconic, they made sure to get him back when he did Kel'Thuzad for Heroes of the Storm. And it's just... I mean, again, I do like the guy who did him in Hearthstone because he was hilarious, he did a great job, but it's just still not Michael McConaughey. That's like replacing Uther's voice with someone else. No one else has ever voiced Uther other than Michael McConaughey. Can you imagine if someone else took over the voice for Uther, or if someone else voiced Thrall other than Chris Metzen? It doesn't work, because you're still listening for that same iconic voice actor to reprise his character. But, you know, at this point, a few different people have voiced Kel'Thuzad, so, you know, if they perhaps wanted to have McConaughey have a break, or perhaps if he wanted a little break from doing Kel'Thuzad while doing either Uther for this, you know, and perhaps bring back the guy who did him in Hearthstone to give him another shot, you know what? Good for him. Good for him.
Loktar!
The Banished One. The Pauldrons of Imperium. This lich Kel'Thuzad meddles with powerful forces. Now we know who is responsible for the unrest in Maldraxxus. If Kel'Thuzad has allied with the Banished One, then he wields greater power than anyone realizes. I'm hoping this is a tease for Kel'Thuzad eventually being a raid boss, because it would be nice to have Kel'Thuzad be a proper raid boss again, since the last time he was in Nox Ramus, which was not a bad boss fight, don't get me wrong, but I just like the idea of them coming up with a new boss fight with Kel'Thuzad in more modern, you know, mechanics, and the way that the boss fights are designed today compared to how they were back in the day is so much better, in my opinion. I know some people disagree on that. And I just like the idea that they would come up with a much more modern, really cool boss fight for Kel'Thuzad. I think that'd be awesome. We must lay siege to the House of Rituals, but we need time to prepare. Attacking without a flawless strategy will only ensure our defeat. For now, return the pauldrons to the seat of the Primus. I will meet you there. By the way, I realized in the last video I was talking about the Kyrians. I had forgotten we had already helped out the Kyrians, and we were actually heading here to Revendreth. My bad. Had that a little backwards. Oops.
In the name of the Primus.
Catch you later, Accuser and Kael'thas. Kael'thas, behave. And really, try to learn from what happened in Burning Crusade. Really try to actually choose to want to redeem yourself. Because I liked you before Burning Crusade, back in Warcraft 3. There are some big pauldrons.
Enemies arise from without and within. Stand firm. Defend the realms of death.
I gotta start rocking my set here.
Enemy of Maldraxxus, small walker. And now, you shall restore these pauldrons to their rightful place. We heed the words of the Primus, and together we will fight to save the Shadowlands. For the honor of the Bladesworn.
The battle has only just begun. The Ritualists are the ones behind this war. Every act of treason has been committed under their orders. We cannot defeat their sorcery with strength of arms alone. Victory will hinge on our knowledge of what they are plotting. Continue to bolster our forces. I will look for a way to infiltrate the House of Rituals.
Every defeat is a lesson.
Shoulder piece. 2 pieces left. Just gotta double check. Alright, so I gotta get that for Chapter 8, and that for Chapter 8 as well. Okay.
Check your equipment.
Looking for spare parts?
So yeah, you can upgrade these. Can't upgrade that though. But you can, once you get to this point in the story, you can actually upgrade all your stuff to 184. Once you've gotten to this part of the story. So if you're kind of lacking on gear, you can actually just focus on the story, and then you can upgrade your set pieces up to 184, which is gear that drops in mythic level dungeons. So it's a nice little pep up for you, in case you are needing some gear. Upgrades, anyway. Alright, so I'm going to need to start rocking these pieces here that I have now, because, I mean, I wanted this set and I haven't really been using it. I mean, I do love some of the other Death Knight sets, but I really should be rocking this, just saying. Need to work on transmog for this. So, we need to get to Renown 20. But I did just get an upgrade to my Soulbind with Emily.
Ah, my apprentice, you return at last.
Now I can put another conduit slot here. Endurance, let's see. I think the best one I've got is this one right here. That aids my anti-magic zone. Oh, wait, I gotta activate this first. There we go. Boom. Increase the radius and the duration. And that's, like, item level-wise, the best one I've got other than this one right here. But that's for blood, not for unholy. So, yeah, if I want to get some of these better conduits, I'm going to have to do some higher-level Mythic Plus or the raid. So, but do not worry for this upcoming reset. By the way, Happy New Year! I'm recording this on January 1st, 2021. 2020 is now behind us. It is now a new year, and we are looking forward as the Feast of Wintervale comes to a close, Dark Moon's coming up, but most importantly, this upcoming reset, the next wing of LFR Castle Nathria will be up, which means I will be able to show the next wing of LFR for the story, and then 2 weeks after that, Wing 3, and then 2 weeks after that, the last wing for the finale of that, so, yeah. Anyways, so, that's basically all I've got for you guys for this week on this character. I've got to do some more off-camera stuff with this guy, including I've got to do some more of these time-walking dungeons from Wrath, because you get a normal Nathria item level piece, which is 200, which would be nice if it comes up for a slot. This is one of the annoying things. If you do this and I get one for a slot that I don't need a 200 for, like, it's like, oh, you got one for your hands and I already have a 213, I'd be like, ugh. But if I do this and I get, say, a trinket to replace this 171, that would be so nice. Because you can't really get anything to drop in Mythic Plus these days. It's the truth. It's the reality. So anyways, I also need to take care of this, and I could just do a Necrotic Wake, because I also have a quest for that right here. Yep, I can just go do a Necrotic Wake, and I'll be able to take care of this quest, as well as this quest right here. So, I have some dungeons to do, and I will see you guys for the next part of the Covenant campaign, or if we perhaps get another look into from Bolvar about where Anduin might be. So, stay tuned.